Now let's look at how we can organize our email. So in the inbox up here, you can see that I've actually created some additional folders. And some of the folders actually have some unread email in them as well. In some of the later videos, we're going to set up some rules to automatically send emails to certain folders based on criteria. But to create a folder, it's very easy. You just right-click on your inbox, type new folder. And then perhaps I could put here personal and click OK. And you'll see I now have a personal folder here. Nothing's in that folder, and let's change that. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to drag an email into that personal folder. So you can create any folder structure you want, and the more emails you have, the more you'll start to create your own folder structure. One of the interesting things about the inbox is whenever you click on whichever folder, it will tell you in the bottom how many emails are actually in that inbox. So in my inbox is 1300. In my personal folder, at the moment, there's only one. You'll notice that LMS here has one highlighted. That tells me I've got one email unread. To make these sort of tags, if you click on the home button, you will see that there are three buttons here, one called unread, one called categorize, and one called follow up. If I right click, I also get those same options here. So you can get them from either right clicking on the email or pressing the button from a ribbon. If I mark as unread, instantly you'll see now that there is one unread email in the personal folder. That's very useful if, for example, you want to come back to it and read it another time. There is another way you can do this though. Perhaps what you could do is you could create a category. So if I right click on this, choose category, and at the moment none of these categories are actually appropriate, but if I click on all categories, I could use perhaps the orange category but rename it to review later and click OK. Now I right click, choose categorize, and you can see that if I click on it, this has now been tagged as a to review later email. We'll look at how we can search in that in the next video. Another way you can tag email is by flagging it. You'll see I've got the follow up here, and again I can access it through right click menu, follow up, and I can choose to follow up today, tomorrow, this week, next week, no date, or I could custom. And then in addition to that, there can be reminders associated with that. I'm going to say I want to follow it up today. Now, one of the things you'll see is follow up. It's highlighted up here. I must start it today and it's due today. And you'll also see to the right in my to-do bar, I now have today 1 tasks. And if I open that up, that's that actual email there. So 3 different ways of tagging emails, and you'll find the one that works for you the best. Another thing that is very useful from an email perspective is at the moment you can see this list here. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually combine the inbox and the sent items in one. I'm going to click on view, and I'm going to click here as show as conversations. It gives me a message saying, do I want to show the message arranged by conversations in all the folders or just this folder? And for this example, I'm just going to choose this folder. Now, you may not immediately notice the difference, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at this email here. So this email was unread, and what I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to reply to this email. So we've got a number of ways we can reply. I'm just going to come up to the ribbon at the top and click on reply. Thank you for this email. It is very interesting. And then click send. You'll notice that suddenly my outbox has a 1. That outbox will very soon disappear once the email is gone. Email is gone, and now it's appeared in my sent items. But what it also has now done is it's now in my inbox. If I expand this, you can actually see the actual conversation that took place. This was the email I received, and this was my response. So conversations, a very, very powerful way of now grouping your emails together. So appropriate emails that go back and forth can be clearly seen.